Howdy, y'all. This here's a Christian trucker, and this is my story. Episode 6. I'm going to start where I went to a church camp. I think it was the summer between elementary and high school and junior high. Now, y'all, keep in mind I had done got chunky. I had done got tubby. And my folks had decided to send me to a church camp over the summer. We were all thinking it would be a great thing. Yeah, you know, a good thing for me to go to a church camp. Well, in my bunk, I was the fat kid. And there was 5 or 6 other little boys in our bunk. And they would pick at me mercilessly. Yeah, I could tussle with them and fight with them, but they were kids and there was always an adult there to calm me down and pull them off or whatever. It was not a fun experience. It almost messed me up to where I never wanted to go to another church camp for as long as I live, because them dang little hellions, I mean, it was so bad that I would skip most of the projects. About the only project that I would go to would be arts and crafts. And that's because it was mostly women in there. Them hellions was out there doing whatever they were doing. I mean, I didn't get to canoe, I didn't get to do none of that fun stuff. I wouldn't even swim with them. Not even one kid at that church camp wanted to be friends. That was the worst camp experience I could have ever had. Like I say, it almost made me not want to go to any more camps, which would have really negatively affected my life, because in my early teens, I went to a church camp in Arkansas with some of my friends, and that's where I met Jesus. That's where I got saved, and that changed my life forever. Although I did not live perfectly after that. I backslid, and I backslid bad. All the time I was backsliding and having my issues, though, the Lord was convicting me, and there were many, many sleepless nights through my youth, even through all the sin and things that I did. It was, my Father in heaven was always convicting me. Now, after that church camp, I was fixing to go into junior high. Well, I think it was that very same summer. Everything happened really quickly right there. I choked on a pickle at the Sonic in our local town. And I thought I was dying. Well, that caused me to lose about 80 pounds. And when I lost that 80 pounds, all of a sudden, I felt better. People started talking to me. They didn't pick on me. The girls didn't say I was the smelly guy or the fat guy. You know, it was really a life-changing experience to lose that weight. And my parents, I mean, they took me to different doctors and everything because they were worried because I wouldn't eat. About the only thing I would eat would be oatmeal and potato chips. See, oatmeal, somebody convinced me that you could swallow oatmeal without even chewing it. Well, that made sense to me, and I was able to eat it. And chips, I could chew them up into a paste before I would swallow them, and that worked for me also. So I lived off of pretty much potato chips, soda pops, and oatmeal, and I still managed to lose 80 pounds. And they got worried there for a little while, but like I say, losing that weight at an early age was a life-changing thing, because I started getting more friends, my social life was improved, I felt better. I played football in elementary, a little bit, pee-wee ball is what they call it. I played football in junior high. I was pretty good. I was a linebacker, defensive linebacker, as I went into junior high. And I enjoyed football, and in high school, me and the coaches had the disagreement. So I really didn't do a lot of play in high school. Plus, I started earning money, and it was more important to me to earn money than it was to play football. Because, well, I'll get into all that later. But right now, we're going to talk about my entry into junior high. It went with a bang. I mean, I come in, I was a little thinner, I was a little happier, I lived in a better area, I made some good friends. I started off and I had my first girlfriend. I mean, I had girls that I talked to, and girls that, you know, I got my first kiss at Lake Merrick, at our lake close to our home, because we would go camping and I would meet the girls there that were camping, and there was a pair of twins. One liked me, one didn't. There was a girl from 2 counties down that they would come. They had a little money and she was nice, treated me good, all that, you know. And I had some local girls in our community, but nothing that I would call a girlfriend. My first girlfriend, I would have to say, was a girl named Doris. Now, Doris, see, she was pretty cool. I mean, she wasn't super popular or nothing like that, but me and her had a lot in common. Matter of fact, me and my dad took her fishing with us. And y'all, if you know what's good for you, fellas, you don't take a woman fishing with you, because they gonna kick your butt. Because by the time you bait up, sling it out for her and all that kind of stuff, they're pulling in a fish and you gotta take it off, and you hand them your pole and they're pulling in another fish. Next thing you know, she's done kicked your butt fishing in numbers. But I bought her a yellow rose, and my mom would take us out to little date trips and stuff like that. So yeah, I was dating well before I was 15, 16 years old. I mean, I was dating 10, 11, 12 years old. And also, I'll go ahead and let y'all know, I started stealing cigarettes and drinking when I was 10 years old. I was stealing cigarettes from old Vantage cigarettes, you know, old nasty Vantage cigarettes. That's what got me started. I'm going to let you know also, I smoked for 17 years. I had got up to over 2 packs a day at one point, but I managed to put them down after I got married for my lovely bride. And then I had started drinking. Now, my mom and them, they would have parties, and some of her friends would let us drink their alcohol. One lady named Barbara, she would come over and drink strawberry daiquiris. Well, they loved to give us strawberry daiquiris, but the key was, with my mom, was as long as we drank at home, she did not have a problem with it. But whenever I started driving, and if there was any drinking gonna be done, they were really not gonna let that happen. As long as we drank at home, they didn't care. My mom didn't really care about me smoking, but my dad and some of his friends was really hard against me smoking, and I was easily addicted to smoking because it suited me. It really did suit me. And as we went into junior high, we got in trouble a few times because me and my friends, we had kind of like a clique, I guess you would say, and we were all into the same stuff, smoking and drinking and doing things that we were big enough that we shouldn't have been doing, but we did them anyway. I mean, we liked to fight. One guy, Paul, he tried to fight me 3 different times, and all 3 times it ended badly for him. But I have to hand it to him, he kept getting up. I mean, 3 different occasions. I mean, not the same day, but like 3 different occasions through the junior high years. He tried 3 different times, never could do it, but he always got back up, and we never lost our friendship over him. One of them, matter of fact, was, I think he was trying to steal Doris to be his girlfriend instead of my girlfriend. And well, we fought over that. It wasn't no big deal, but me and old Paul and Jason and a few other of my buddies got out behind the band hall of the junior high. Well, Paul brought us a fifth of Jack Daniels. I brought us a couple pack of cigarettes, and we skipped school right there behind the band hall. And we would drink and smoke, and we got pretty bad off. I mean, he ended up getting in trouble because he didn't hold his liquor very well. They caught him, but they didn't catch me and Jason and a few others that were out there. Behind that band hall, we learned many life lessons. Many life lessons. Number one is don't drink too much too quickly. Because you'll end up stumbling into class, and then they think you're sick. You go to the nurse's station, and next thing you know, you're going home with your parents, and you're getting your hide tan. But we had some pretty good teachers. We had a couple of them that were real sticklers, but we had a couple of them that were. Matter of fact, one of our junior high teachers started having relations with one of our kids that went to our school. And they had relations all through high school, and they ended up getting married. Sure did. They got married years after school. That was always subject to conversation during school, was those two having relations all through it, you know. All those guys couldn't figure out how he attracted a teacher, and he did, and they stayed together. I mean, they got married. They might still be married today. I don't know. I lost track of them because I moved out of the county. But junior high was a really fun time. I started working when I was 12 years old at my granddad's building supply. My dad had already started running it, and my brother was working there. So, of course, my dumb self, just had to be like them, so I wanted to start working. So when I was 12, they put me in there working, and I started working, during the summer, it was about 60 hours a week. And during the winter, I would work before school and after school. And on any holiday, I would make $52 a week year round, no matter if I worked the 60 hours or if I worked the 10, 12 hours that I did during the week. No, probably closer to 20 because I would work before. Anyway, it don't really matter. But I made $52 a week from the time I was 12 to 14 or 15 years old. And that allowed me to buy my first vehicle when I was 13 years old. My money, my car. My dad drove me over there. We looked at it. It was a 1968 Ford Mustang. Beautiful car. But it had been sitting under a pine tree for a few years, and I'd always been fascinated with them. Probably because we've had a few in the past, and it kind of stuck in my subconscious. But I loved the old Mustangs. Well, I took this old Mustang home, and I worked on it, and I got it beautiful. Engine, we put a new engine in it. I bought it for $1,400. I put like $3,000 more in it. And that thing, man, the memories of that car. We would drag race up and down. I would drive it to church when I was 13 and a half, 14 years old. Me and my buddy Mike Dunn, he would always come over. He had an old Chevrolet truck. And him and that Chevrolet truck, boy, they tried to give us a run for our money. And I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood was mad at us because wasn't long, old Robert came around, and Robert, he had him a Dodge. So we had a Chevy, a Ford, and a Dodge, and we was always running up and down the roads. It was pretty awesome in my book. We had a great time. Nobody ever wrecked there out of our crew, but some of the friends out of another crew, they wrecked. He had a Chevelle, and that Chevelle hit the tree hard. I'm going to leave it there. God bless. Keep it between the ditches.